Hello everyone, and welcome to another Furniture Unite Spotlight members interview. And today I have a real treat for you because not only have you got one beauty, but we have two beauties, and we also have three beauties for you to listen to. We are joined by Kate Holt and Sarah Pelly from Kate is Colour Me KT and Sarah is Home Revival. Hello ladies.
Hi.
Thanks for joining and agreeing to tell us all your secrets.
Oh, they're about telling all our secrets.
Well, Sarah's thinking that's not what I signed up for.
I'll tell them anything they want to know.
So first of all, you both you have both been doing this a long time. I'm not going to say you are the oldies in the industry, but some might say. So can you tell me, I know that you have got a fantastic, beautiful friendship, and I know that the friendship came to be because of this industry. So can you tell us all how you got started and a wee bit about how you met?
Go on then, Sarah, you start.
So I've been doing this I've been in business since 2013, but I was doing it for years before then. Same story as everybody else. Painted something for myself, turned out great, really enjoyed it, did it for somebody else. Next thing you know, it snowballs into a business. The rest is history where that's concerned. And I met Kate, I met her at an industry conference actually in Canada.
So you spent the whole way to Canada.
So we travelled together, but that was the first time that I had met her when we travelled over to Canada to that conference, and we had like a little bit of a life-changing situation that happened over there, and it sort of brought us together.
All right, come on. What was that? You need to tell me that. You can't just say it was life-changing and then that.
It was just a little bit of unexpected drama, and it sort of made us all. We had no choice, really, did we? We just sort of we was all like, oh God, and we had to deal with this issue, and basically it just made us really close. And when we got back, we were sort of like a support.
Wasn't just me and you though, was
in
it?
the real sense, because it just turned out. I don't know if perhaps without that little incident, it may not have been quite so
bonding.
Yeah. So
I think you're right. I think you're right, and also because it was Sharina Starmer of Shabby Nook and Sandy Campbell. Oh, what is she? Feral Designs. I was trying to think what she's called now. So it's the four of us. We're like a little team.
So you were doing the Furniture Painters Unite before there was a Furniture Painters Unite. You were already building support networks and supporting each other. So you all are retailers. Well, sorry, you're not anymore, but you were all, the four of you were retailers. Yeah. So you were essentially you were in business together against each other.
Yeah, totally. We were competitors. But it hasn't worked like that at all. We are like a team, and it's something that we really advocate for other people to do as well. You know, don't think that the furniture painter down the road is your enemy. They're actually your mate, because you might better go and borrow a pot of paint off them when you need it, or I don't know. You can definitely work together, not against each other. That's for sure.
Everybody thinks that if you're sharing information on how your business is growing, or what was the best tool to use for this, or what's working in your business right now, I think other women think that if they share that information, that somehow it's going to take away from them. And actually what happens is the same sort of thing when you show somebody how to do a paint technique. So I can do a paint technique, I can give you the same tools and the same piece of furniture, it's not going to turn out the same. And so I think everybody should take that away from it, at the very least, that sharing your successes and how you got there and how you done it doesn't take away from yours. It just adds. It really does. So
yeah, that's very true. Very true.
Very wise. So where are you based, Sarah?
I'm in Plymouth.
You're in Plymouth. And Kate, where are you based? You're really far. Isn't Plymouth like the bottom? Isn't Plymouth like you have to ignore my English geography, but I went to the Isle of Wight one time and I thought I was going to Plymouth. That's how I know that was really far. No, sorry, I went to Portsmouth, but I thought I was going to Plymouth.
Right. So Portsmouth's much further. So
but I had looked at Plymouth on the map to see where I was going.
Yeah.
and all the things to do, and then I ended up in Portsmouth, and with nothing to do.
Yeah, it's pretty in Portsmouth too, but Plymouth is beautiful. It's right down in the southwest. We're on the border with Cornwall. We've got the moors behind us, the sea in front of us, and of course it's where the Pilgrim Fathers left and went to America. So
very good.
Yeah.
And Kate, you are?
I'm in a place called Hoddesdon, Hertfordshire, which is about 20 miles north of London, just outside London.
Yeah, you're in the hub or the thrust of it. I don't know if you call it. Kate's in the thrust. You're in the hustle and bustle, right? You're in the hustle and bustle beside London. That so you must be really busy there as well.
Yeah. It's quieting down a little bit at the moment, though. Everyone's getting a little bit jittery, aren't they? It's gone a little bit quiet, I think.
I think it'll pick up with the good weather when all the DIY starts. That's when everyone, in the spring, isn't it? When everyone starts to look around and change things up. So you said you both went to Canada. So that was with Fusion Mineral Paint, because the two of you would be to me is that because I'm not long doing this, and you two would be like the face of Fusion. I don't know if you sort of going to the face of Fusion is sitting in before me, but you two would be the experts in the Fusion paint companies, just all their products and their techniques, and I mean they are wonderful. So you have both been doing that for a long time.
Yeah. You're always learning, and then back because Sarah does a lot of work for Fusion, and we both admin. Well, we have always adminned on the Paint It Beautiful group, which is 300,000 people asking questions all day long, every day.
Oh, I didn't realise it was that.
Please tell me I don't have to prep. Yeah, you got to prep.
I never realised it was that big a group. I didn't. When I joined it, I didn't realise that you two ladies ran it. I thought it was the Canadians.
No.
They do too, but we're just admin on the team as well.
So most of the time when you see a question answered by Fusion Mineral Paint, it's usually me. So, yeah, I'm very good at copying and pasting.
And adding links, sharing links.
Lots of links.
Yeah, so last year, I'll just talk about, I'm going to move on to the big thing. So you took your experience and you took that sense of community and that sense of women supporting women in business and furniture painters supporting each other, because it is a lonely or solos usually job. And you created the Painters Business Academy.
Yeah.
So tell us how that came about and why it was decided.
It was all, I'm pointing the wrong way. It was all her idea.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that it was, but an idea is nothing unless you can get it implemented. So, and I knew I couldn't do it on my own, and I just kept saying to Kate, it took a while for all of us to get back from Canada, and we were a support network for each other. There's, we all made really big leaps in our business, and for me anyway, and this is where we kept bringing up this idea. It was because I had that support. You know what it's like. You tell your parents or your partner or your children about what you're doing this week in the workshop, and they're like, oh god, she's talking about paint again. And so having the girls, it's true though, isn't it? But having the girls to like bounce, what do you think about if I tried this or I did that? And we got, I don't know, I've got the courage to do stuff that I know I would not have done if it wasn't for the fact that I had the support of them. So and then that idea just kept brewing in my head that, God, if only I had this earlier, or if only everybody had this in this industry, because it is, it's a thing, something you do by yourself, and it can be lonely. So
yeah, I mean, I've got a shop, but I'm here most of the time on my own. Tony pops in and out. I have a girl that helps me with the orders, but I'm here now completely on my own. That's it. So you still are on your own. But she kept saying about having this conference, and Tony's got a flooring background, and the conference centre is literally up the road, and we used to do all the flooring in there. And she's going, oh, I want to, do this conference. I went, oh, I know a conference centre. Next time you come down, we'll go up there and have a look. And before you knew it.
First of all, what she said is, don't be stupid. How can we run a conference? We don't know anything about running an event. And I said,
well,
I agree. But what about if you wanted to get married? You run that. That's a massive event. We can do it. I'm sure that we could do it and put our heads together. And she was going, you're just a lunatic. Stop, So I eventually talked her around to it.
Yeah.
So the first one was organized. I'm sorry. The first one was planned for when COVID hit. Isn't that right? Wasn't the first one cancelled?
Yeah, the first one was
Or
cancelled.
postponed. And I wasn't actually in the industry then.
Really?
So
Yeah,
I think that this all happened. This whole thing happened. This whole pandemic and global upset happened just so that I could be at your first academy.
What an
the
entrance you
pictures to
made.
prove it.
Yeah. What an entrance you made.
Oh, yeah,
But I must say, anyone watching this, I was at the very first one that did happen last year, and I mean the knowledge that was shared and the friendships that were made were just. I didn't know one person when I went to it, so it was brilliant. So then you went and found the conference center, and then. Did you just reach out to the companies? Because there was a lot of companies involved, a lot of people wanted to be involved, which is really good.
We found that really hard, actually, and same again this year, actually, to get, all we were thinking was for you to go to some sort of industry conference like this, you have to go abroad. You know, there's just nothing here. And so that was the reason why we wanted to do it. And when we approached, we wanted UK-based businesses really to sponsor us so that we could get this movement up and running and make it a norm, you know. And the UK companies are really hesitant to even get involved, and yet we've got people from America and all sorts of other places knocking on the door going, we're in. So it's really difficult to get.
Yeah, but then they would be used to in America there's pinners and there's those big massive conferences, and so I suppose the American companies know firsthand the benefits of having their name represented at this sort of event, whereas here, because there has only been one, the companies won't know the benefit of having your name in front of all those businesses, because every attendee, apart from lovely Tony, but every attendee was a furniture artist. Every attendee had a business of some sort at some different stages. Some had been doing it a long time. Some of us were very new, and we were all in a room together for 3 days. And, you know, like, it was just an amazing thing to witness. It was an amazing thing to be part of. You know, there wasn't a crossword. I never heard a crossword the whole 3 days. There wasn't. Everywhere you looked, everyone was laughing. Every time you looked, even people eating were laughing. So it was such a success. And it was, I mean, I just love it. Like, I really did just love it. It was my first outing after COVID, and boy, it was the best outing to go to. So you have decided to be crazy and give yourselves more headaches and nightmares and do it all again this year.
Absolutely.
Last year we still got the tickets, and we had somebody that really influential in the industry say to us, could we just come along for like a day or two to have a look? I think for the possibility of maybe sponsoring us next year. And we had to say no to them because we didn't even have enough space for a day ticket. So it was crazy. And so we booked more more spaces this time, and a bigger hold for the sponsors to, you know, be able to sell the stuff and showcase it and do demos and all those things. So hopefully
it's huge, this one is, and it's more central because it's in Derbyshire, this one, so it's actually easier for more people in the country to get to.
So this last year was outside London, and this year then it's in Derbyshire. So tell us exactly the dates and location for people then to be able to plan.
So it's the Hayes Conference Centre, and it's near Derby. It's what's the actual town? It's like sort of not even in a town, it's outside. It's a big Christian conference centre, again, part of the same chain.
Oh, can I add that, not to put anybody off, because I was a wee bit worried about going to a Christian conference centre, because I thought I'm just going to burst into flames as I walked through the door.
Same.
You know, and I thought I don't know. I thought it was going to be very
awkward
and quiet. And I'm a bit loud, and I thought, oh, this place is not. I'm going to get banned. And I thought there wouldn't be a bar. And I thought, no, but I did honestly thought.
I agree. We were worried about all the same things.
Bring something in my suitcase. I'm not saying I did. I'm not saying I didn't. But but for anyone who's thinking, oh, that doesn't sound great, it was great. And the other attendees at the other conferences loved us and wanted to be involved in our conference.
And we had a group of nuns there and said they had the best time.
Yes, they did. They had a great time.
And they queue jumped at the bar every night. They queue jumped at the bar. They were at the front of the bar, ordering their drinks and all the rest of it. The Sisters of Mercy.
Oh, sister, nobody had the braveness to say, oh, sister, back in the queue, everybody just, you get your gin there, love. And the bar was very cheap. That was another thing that I didn't realise, that the prices of the bar were subsidised and it was very cheap. So that's going to help anybody make up their mind. If they're in two minds,
the price includes
that they have to pay for as well.
What's that, Sarah?
The bar is the only extra
it's the only thing. And I think it was like, I don't know, 10 quid for a bottle of wine or something, wasn't it? But the ticket price includes obviously your accommodation, you know, your food, your teas and coffees, you know, your lunch, breakfast, dinner, is absolutely everything apart from alcohol. But it, like you said, it's such a cheap bar that it really wasn't an issue. So there's none of those sort of like scary hidden costs that you're going to go and then spend lots of money. You might want to bring some extra money, because what we found last year was that everybody wanted to get their hands on the new products. And so we're actually opening that up this year. And we've got a sports hall next to our conference hall, which all the, you know, the sponsors will have like all their stock there and that, so people can go shopping. So have an informal chat with them,
like Ideal Home attached to.
Ideal Home. Just
like our own Ideal Home with our own relevant, because everything there. So you touched on that there were new products launched at PBA last year, brand new products that had never been on the market, nobody had ever seen, and yes, there was queues to buy everything that was there. I could have, if I wanted to buy Kate Whitson and bring her home with me, but she wasn't.
I'm sure she's for sale at the right price.
She wasn't. No, if she was the one thing I could have bought. So that's very exciting, isn't it? That that companies will hold off releasing things until they get there.
Yeah, and even, of course, if they're not new products, some of those products that were there and shown were new to some people. So they were not new to the market, but they were new, you know, to you.
Yes, that's right. And there was British, well, there was you said Kate Whitson was there, so they're Whitsons. And I know of them, and I have some of their product here, the Universal Sealer I use. But to actually see the range and just the sheer amount of stuff that they offer, and to hear about their workshops. I didn't know they did workshops. So even just to have that knowledge, not that I might use it, but at least I know it. So if someone ever says, I'd love to learn how to do Italian plastering, at least I know where to send them to.
Absolutely.
So that was really good.
You would think, wouldn't you, with these days, that you could get all this information so easily, but there's nothing like being there with the people, having the products in your hands. And it works really well for them as well, because they get, like, you know, 100 or 200, however many people are going to be there, like mini ambassadors out there using their products, talking about it, posting about it. So it works both ways, you know. It's a win-win for people coming and for the sponsors. So
I think the overwhelming response from our sponsors from last year was that they expected it to be a cost of business to be in front of all of these businesses, and it actually worked. And they sold so much product that it covered the cost and more. So they were over the moon.
Yeah.
No, it was really couldn't have went any better. Sure, couldn't. It couldn't have been a better weekend. It couldn't have been a better. I mean, Festool were there. And I've never seen, it was the most surreal thing ever, I think I've ever seen in my life. And I've been many countries and seen many things, but I walked out into the courtyard and there was 98 women around a man with a sander, all going,
that kind of sums up the whole weekend, really.
It's beautiful. The sander has interchangeable heads, and then all the other heads going, whoa, let me see that one. And I was like, oh my good grief.
It is so true. That is exactly what it was like.
And you couldn't explain that. Nobody would appreciate that.
No, I was just going to say, none of our friends, our normal friends out in the real world, would like, what did you do all weekend? Like, you know, they just wouldn't get it at all. And like morning, noon and night, you know, if you were sharing a room with someone, or, you know, whilst you're having a drink in the evening, we're still talking about bloody paint.
Yeah, no, it didn't stop, sure it didn't, but I mean, it was such a great success that, and I'm sure this year will also be such a great success. So can you hear my dog?
Yeah.
Can you hear Raglan?
I can hear him clattering around.
Hold on, he's got
I
something.
thought it was Sarah's, actually, one of Sarah's dogs clattering around.
No, mine are all asleep. Look, can you?
They dropped it as soon as I stand up.
They're asleep on the mat.
Oh, well behaved.
Both of them, yeah.
Mine are at home.
As soon as I stand up, he drops it and he legs it. He's shite. He's wee Jack Russell. He drives me nuts.
Oh,
sorry about that. This is why we record these things now. It's usually because of my dogs.
Helena, did you make any like business connections and move your business along in any way because of the conference?
Yes, because well, for a start, being in Northern Ireland, there's very little. We're very little. There's very few of us. And I met Elaine Patrick.
Yeah.
So she was just amazing. I met her at the airport and I was quite nervous, and so was she. And I mean, I don't know if there's a day has been past since that I haven't spoke to her. Isn't that great? And I've been to her house.
Yeah, I couldn't, because I put you in a group chat when we were trying to arrange for you to travel together and pick you up at the airport and all that type of thing. And I was a bit like, I don't work out how come these two don't know each other. Do you know what I mean? And like,
yeah, well, we know each other. We've been in groups together, but we've never met. Never met until that morning. And she doesn't fly well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's an understatement. She doesn't fly well. So she was nervous anyway. And as I say, I've been up to her house. I've met all her children. I mean, it's just that's even if that was the only thing that I came back with, it would have been worth it.
Yeah, I agree. Just come back with one good friend. But there was a hell of a lot of people there when we asked them to put their hands up, and you know, did they come on their own or did they know anybody? There were so many people that put their hands up. Like
5% of the room said they didn't know anybody. They
right.
on their own without knowing a single person. I mean,
yeah, quite brave, really.
It is very brave. It definitely is very brave. As I say, I met Elaine at the airport, and I had no one, talk. Like I spoke to you in groups, and it spoke to different people in groups. So I knew Elaine as much as you could know anyone in that situation.
Yeah.
But I definitely came back. I now stock Posh Chalk.
Yep.
And I, I'm a Posh Chalk stockist. I just fell in love with Solly Joe. Just fell in love with her. Yeah. So I now am one of her stockists, and I am a Would You Be ambassador for her. And I mean, I think that wouldn't have probably happened if I hadn't have been there. And what else?
So it's nice, isn't it? The way it benefit, and that, I mean, they're, I'm sure they're more than happy with the stuff that you do. So it's lovely, isn't it, to see the kind of the cross collaboration, I think that's the word, that went on afterwards and before, and brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
And the demonstrations I thought were just amazing when you can actually see the products being used in the flesh. I know we do watch videos, and I would do a lot of tutorial videos, and but it's not the same unless you can actually see somebody doing it and ask the questions live, and see it all live. So I really loved the demonstrations. I loved the Whitsons. I mean, they were just amazing. And so talented and so much knowledge, and lovely. And they answered questions the whole weekend. I know they've done a demonstration, but the whole weekend.
Yeah, that's true. That's it. That's the thing. You can go up to them, with your when you've got a bit of Dutch courage, glass of wine in your hand, you can go up to Kate and say, that stuff, and she'll give you all the information that you want. And we're hoping to have fabulous Fabio from Italy over this year from Fleur as well.
Ooh.
You could just stare at him. You don't even have to talk.
Ooh, fabulous Fabio.
That's mine and Kate's nickname for him. Fabulous Fabio.
Oh, it's okay. I'm learning Italian. I've signed up. I'm going to have Italian lessons, and I'll be ready for fabulous Fabio. I'll be ready for him when he gets here. Don't you worry. I'll be the welcoming party.
That's so fun.
So we're under a bit of pressure this year to try to top it from last year, because I think for me, even, I mean, we were critical of our own, situation as well. And to be honest with you, the only thing there was only probably one thing that I would have changed and made different that I thought dragged a little bit, and do you know what I mean? Because you're picking up on everything, but everything else was so well received. I don't know if I would have changed it, but there was a couple of things, and so this year, Kate and I are just like, how are we going to top it? Do you know what I mean? How are we going to make it?
Well, we're trying to get some smaller paint manufacturers on board. We've had a lot of interest. Some of the smaller UK ones, like quite unique, and different types of speakers. Yeah, and then people are asking us for more. Yeah, people are asking us for more business help. So we really want to.
We've got a few things lined up for that, so that will be interesting.
Yeah, because we know everybody's sort of worried about money this year, so we've put in a payment plan with PayPal, so you can pay in instalments, and we want people to not just think of it as a great fun weekend away, which it is totally, but actually it's an investment in their business, and that we want to help them get their business to the next stage, and also to help them save money and how to plan and all those types of things, like to run a proper business, not just it's a hobby, but we want them to make it into a business. And how's the best way of doing that? What's the pros and cons of having a shop or a workshop, or all these costs that we're all worrying about now.
And if you've already got one running, what's your next step? How do you up level it to the next level?
Yeah, and different income streams and all those types of things, banking, accounts and all that boring stuff too.
I really, really, really enjoyed the girl. I think she was Canadian. I think she was Canadian, but she studied in Belfast. The Pinterest girl. I do follow her. I don't know why I can't remember her name.
Megan. She is
Megan,
Canadian, but she's got family in Ireland, Sarah. She's lived in Ireland.
She studied in Belfast.
She lived over
there. Yeah, Megan.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed that because Pinterest. I didn't realize that Pinterest was such a massive tool for business. I mean, isn't that? It makes such sense, but it's not something that naturally that I thought of. So things like that, I came away with. And just all the guest speakers, and I know people are talking about the cost. It is more this year, but I think last year I came home, and I didn't even rob anyone. I genuinely came home with more product in my suitcase than probably what I paid for my ticket.
It was we worked it out, and it was a couple of quid under the price of your ticket you ended up going home with.
I mean. And that was amazing, and I really loved the milk painting demonstration.
Yeah.
And I've been milk painting away from I came back, and it's now my favourite medium. I just love it. And again, that's something because every business needs to have a unique selling point, don't they? You have to have something to stand out from the crowd.
Sure.
And so that could be mine, maybe. I don't know. Maybe, might not be. But it was just great to get that one-to-one. Face-to-face tutorial, and to get to feel the products and to see all the amazing things that actually can be done with it, and then take it home and say, well, do you know what? Nobody in Northern Ireland's doing this. This might be my thing, because I really do love it. So I would recommend it to anyone watching, because I have experienced it firsthand.
Yeah, that's really interesting to hear, actually, because you may or may not have tried it. And it's all very well, isn't it, when you buy something online, even say the poly-onlays, you can't see how big they are or how flexible they are unless you can literally put your hands on. And I think that's how all us creatives work. I mean, how many times have you ordered something online and it turns up and it's smaller or bigger than you thought, the wrong colour?
It's usually clothes. It's usually clothing.
They're always smaller. What's wrong with these clothes? They just shrink, don't they, in the post? So you're not. It really is. You're not wasting your time, are you? You're getting right in there and really learning a lot without actually having to invest, because we kind of go around feeling like we can buy this and buy that because we need to experiment with this in our business. But actually, you can waste a lot of money. But if you come to the conference and you can get your hands on all these products and actually just buy what you need and what you really, really like, and it's going to work. Yeah,
that's right. Because what the point I'll make, when people were on, for anyone watching this, when somebody was on stage doing a demonstration with milk paint, they gave you a sample of milk paint, and you also painted along. When Posh Chalk were doing their, you also had the Posh Chalk products.
I've got to say, our sponsors were really generous. I mean, especially, I know I work for Fusion, but they absolutely went above and beyond and air freight over. Everybody had a massive, great big box full of products. I mean, you know, but all the sponsors did that. They all made sure that not only did you get something in your goodie bag, that everybody has something to work on while they were on stage. It was a really good experience.
And it was
like try before you buy was invaluable, wasn't it?
Totally. Like, so with Aussie Decor, for instance, they've got different types of products, you know, decoupage papers and then them wrap things and all that. Well, it's kind of confusing, even if you've seen it on video, but until you're like, oh, and can touch it and feel it and see the size of things, you know, what does A1 mean? What does A3 mean? Like, until you know, got it in front of you, that type of thing. So
they're talking about the GSM, because decoupage is a big thing now. So, but all the different companies have a different GSM, and people are like, well, what is that? So then when you're at your conference and you had all the different types of decoupage paper in front of you, you can say, oh, that's why that's 28 and that's why that's 41 GSM, and you know, all that. And you can learn all these things and take them away with you. So from a business point of view, yes, it's definitely, I think if anyone is doing this as a hobbyist and they're thinking, I would really love to do it as a business. This would definitely be the first step. If this was the first step for everyone, wouldn't it set everyone up in such a great, wouldn't it? Everyone would be set up in such a great.
When we went to Canada, I mean, you know, we were all pretty established businesses. I've been running for years, so with Kate, you know, we were all sort of established. And getting over there and meeting the other women, some of them were at the same level as us, but there were a whole bunch that were doing way better than we were.
Yeah, weren't they? Yeah.
The interesting thing for me was meeting that person, realizing they're not taking anything away from her, but realizing they weren't Superwoman. They're just a normal woman. And what they've done is they've worked out this and worked out that. And I was like, oh my God, so that means I can do it. And we came back like, well, I know I did. We all did. Like absolutely inspired, ready to work, because I thought, okay, I've seen it for myself. It's doable. And so I can do it, because there'd been nobody around me to say, of course you can do that. All you have to do is this, this, and this. And so that was a massive, like, mind-blowing. Even though it seems obvious now I'm saying it out loud, it wasn't until I'd seen it.
No, it wasn't, because me and Tony had the most massive row about me going, right? He was like, you can't.
I can't believe that. Tony
wouldn't. Absolutely.
No,
I mean, it was about, I think at the time, it probably cost us about £1,000, Sarah, something like that, 1,200, I can't remember, but it was a big chunk of money. And he's going, nope. And I'm like, well, one, you can't tell me no. And two, you belong to this fishing club and it's 400 quid. And so-and-so's husband goes on a golf tournament weekend. Like, why as women do we think that we're not worthy of investing in ourselves? So anyway, it was quite funny, because he still had his flooring business at the time, and my accounts lady booked it, and I still hadn't actually got the okay from Tony. And it was really funny, because when they a couple of years later had another conference and I said to him about it, he just went, we'll have to go then. And I thought, what a turnaround. And then look how supportive he was of us at this conference.
Oh, he was
picking everyone up from the stations and that thing.
Biggest fan.
So, he is a darling. That's why I said, I can't believe Tony would say no.
Can you? He'll deny it if you ask him, but I'm telling you. And I remember he slept on the sofa, and I got up in the middle of the night and I went down, I went to him, I'm going. you know, it's so funny. But that's, sometimes it was just something inside me just thought, I'm going to do it.
You needed to go. You just needed to be there.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know lots of people will be, you know, doubting themselves and thinking, I can't do it, I'm not worthy of it, you know. But, you know, I mean, it's mainly women in this industry. You know, a happy mum or happy wife, happy person, it just makes everybody else around you happy. If you're miserable in what you're doing, you're not going to succeed in it. You've got to be doing a job that you love.
The thing for me was, or the biggest takeaway I had from that, I mean, obviously we all got close. There was huge ideas there that blew my mind, and I couldn't wait to come home and try to implement some of them. As well as all that, I've literally lost my train of thought. I have no idea what I was going to say.
I thought, oh, I'm just ranting about
it. Was really profound, but I can't remember what it was.
I was thinking, where's our pen? I need to write this down. This is going to be good.
It was going to be good. It was profound.
Happy woman, happy wife, happy person, happy mother. That was what Kate was saying. And then
And then Sarah was going to come out with something.
And then the
really
light bulb
professional then,
flicked
wasn't
on,
she?
and then it went off.
The light bulb did click on, and then all of a sudden it was empty. There's nothing in
Um,
there.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's so funny. That's so typical as well, isn't it?
I don't know, Em. I don't think Emma's going to edit that bit out. Sarah said.
Keep it in, keep it in. We had a couple of moments like that at the conference. I just remember standing up on the stage at the beginning, like literally like a bit like kind of a fish, you know, like.
I sort of had some PTSD going on, and I've removed myself from my body. That's how I did it. So like I can remember walking into the dining hall, and we all had a certain colour lanyard, didn't we? And so I thought, right, where is our people? Where's our people? And I thought, oh my God, this is all of them. And I thought, oh my God. And I thought, Sarah, you've got next thing to do. And I had a clipboard, and I just thought, fine, I'm not going to think about it. What's the next thing to do? So that's the only way I've coped with it, I think.
But for weeks beforehand, you kept saying, well, what are we actually going to say? Kate, we need words. And then even down to the night before, we're sitting there, right, we've got to write down what we're going to say. We had this, notepad. We still didn't write anything down, did we?
Not a word. And I was like, oh my God, I've got a word to say.
Oh, funny.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well, it might come to you. If it comes to you at night, if it comes to you after midnight, we don't want to know, do we, Kate?
What were we talking about? We were talking about women investing in themselves.
And being happy. And if they're happy, the people around them are happy.
I mean, if it helps, I'll know I made the money back that I went and spent on our trip, our very first one. It was way more expensive than ours. I made that money back like within months of being home again.
Sure.
That's brilliant. And that was just all the help and support that you received while in Canada. And the inspiration.
Yeah, and I think we've, as business women, I don't know about anybody else, but my brain, like I've got 1 million, maybe 1,000,001 business ideas per day. I'm like, right, that's a business idea. This is a business idea. And I'll forget half of them by the end of the day. Like I said, I can't even remember my thoughts. My point is, so some of those ideas I'd already had and thought, oh God, wouldn't it be good if I could do this, if I could try that, if I could implement this into my business? But I don't have anybody around me to support me to go, that's a brilliant idea. Why don't you do that? It just took that. That's all it took. So
yeah. And seeing other people running their businesses, or like you said, like I could do that. They're doing it. I could do it. Why can't I do it? But when you're just working at home from your garage or something like that, you haven't got any contact with other business people, really, have you?
No, and you don't have anyone behind you saying, look, if you feel it's okay. And I think that's important too, just to have somebody saying, go for it if you feel it's okay. At least you went for it. At least you did something.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, nothing ventured, nothing gained, all that.
That's it. So let us recap for Sarah's sake. Sarah, it's on what date's again?
Well, I'll tell you in case you forgot. It's Friday, the 2nd of September.
2nd of September.
Sunday.
I'll tell you something. You won't believe it. I cannot remember my youngest son's birthday, to the point where I used to call my sister and say, what day was he born? Because he must have been due on one day and he was born on the other day. And so forever after that, I thought, was it the 25th or the 26th? So we've given him the 25th, but I can't tell you the honest truth if that is the actual date.
It was. It's okay. I do that all the time. I have 4 children, and when I phone the dentist and I say, can I make an appointment for the child? He'll say, what's the date of birth? And I go, oh, hold on. And I know and I do it every time, but there's 4. So yeah, I count, one was 94, 2002, and then I have to count the years. And I know the other person on the end of that phone's thinking, she doesn't know her child's birthday now.
How does Elaine Patrick cope with 10 kids? I mean, that is incredible. And she's got that big as well.
Yes.
Yeah, Elaine has 10. Well, I don't know, but I'm her friend on Facebook, and every time I open Facebook, she's having a birthday party. That's all I know.
That's really true, isn't it? One of her kids. Yeah, for sure.
I forgot that she had 10 children.
Yeah,
sure, she looks 25, and she could be a model.
She does.
Amazing. She's amazing. She's an amazing lady.
Yeah,
absolutely amazing.
So so we were meant to be recapping. So 2nd to the 4th of September, we're going to start on the kind of Friday afternoon to the evening, and we might let you go in and shop or whatever. And then obviously we've got 2 days of conferencing, and you've got the evenings
on the terrace again.
Oh, lovely! That was lovely. I think everyone was being very good the first night because I must have had 20. They kept saying to me, "There's more." Nobody was having them.
No, I think what happened was, I think everyone went to the bar, saw how cheap it was, bought a bottle of wine, and nobody drank our Prosecco cocktails. I had specially made so that they were cocktails, so they were diluted. I just didn't want everyone to get really, really drunk because I knew that they needed to, be on the ball next day. Cough, Claire Taylor wasn't. But anyway, I came home with, how many boxes of Prosecco did we come home? I think I came home with like 50 bottles of Prosecco.
You and Tony went over.
Yeah, we took them home, and Sarah said, "That's okay, we can keep them till next year." And I'm like, "Oh, that's like one bottle a week between now and then." I have been testing to make sure they haven't gone off or anything.
Well, I think that's your civic duty. You must do that, Kate. You must keep testing.
Yeah, they might. Every now and then I hear a pop and think, "Oh, they're popping. I better go."
Do you hear that? I don't believe that, Sarah. But if you say so, Kate, if you say they just magically open themselves and pour themselves into glasses, yeah,
they're calling to me from the garage. So
this year, the only person is it the only one you have released is Jonathan Mark Mendez.
Yeah.
So that's huge. Yeah, that's a huge announcement. So for anyone who loves Jonathan, as we all do, Jonathan is going to be making an appearance at this conference, and he's going to be doing
whatever he wants.
Well, yeah, we've just basically said to him, "You tell us what you want to do."
I'm going to painting things.
Yeah, and we're really keen to have him there as well. One, because we love him, but also because we don't want it just to be about Fusion and Fleur and the brands that we kind of represent. It's not about us. It's about the industry as a whole. So we want, sort of to have chalk painters there, and we're looking at other chalk brands to come along as well. So we want it to be a bit of everything. But there's going to be obviously some of the same people from last year, like Solly's going to be there. And we've just signed up. Who we signed up today, Sarah, or yesterday?
This weekend just gone. We signed up General Finishes, which they were a sponsor last year.
Yeah, that was good. I didn't know they did paint. So that's something I learned. I didn't know that they did paint.
Well, Sharina represented them last year because unfortunately the guy who originally owned the company, the Euro Finishes, not General Finishes, the European distribution, he unfortunately passed away. So they couldn't make it, and one of their family were getting married. But this year they're really, really keen. And so Roy and John, they're called, and they're going to come down and they're going to do some demoing. We're going to stick them up on a panel when we do the kind of lecture. So
I think that's going to be really good because I think we need some wood experts. I think we're all getting fairly confident with paint, but we're all terrified to strip wood. How do we prime, or wood conditioners and all those things? It's an absolute minefield. And General Finishes have been got to be about 100 years nearly, so they're right old school and know their stuff.
Their products, I must say, their products are amazing, absolutely amazing.
Yeah, they're not 100 years old, by the way.
I thought it was like 1920, 32, 42.
No, we've got a blog post on our.
I know, but what did it say? What was the year?
Why don't you go read our own blog post?
I didn't write it. You did. I'm sure it was like.
He's sampling the Prosecco to be reading anything. She's trying to look after that Prosecco.
I've got a bottle of it over
there. They're well established in the industry, and I think they're really respected, especially for their finishes.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to have them at the show, because we've been chatting to them really since last year, and so I am excited about meeting them. I'm a little bit of a geek, so I'm excited about that for sure.
Yeah. So loads more.
Well, you did mention Fusion and Fleur, because Fleur was there last year, and again, the range of products that they offer that I was not aware of.
Oh,
and I actually have a commission that I'm working on now, and I'm going to be using my pot of Fleur glitter on it. And I've saved it a whole year. I've been trying to talk somebody into glitter and then this guy has went for it big time.
Oh, cool.
So and that's something that I think the more, as a furniture artist, I don't know if you'll agree, but as I do all them, chalk, mineral, milk, everything. And I think, as a furniture artist, it's really important to know what products are out there. So when somebody comes to you and they say, I want this, can you make me this? If you don't know what's available, you say, no, I don't think you can.
Yeah, exactly that.
If you go to the Painters Business Academy, and if you go and just obtain all the knowledge, even if you never use it, but the fact that you know what is out there and how to use it, if it ever came about that you needed to,
Or even what you don't want to use.
Your business by saying no to people. You're closing down your business by saying, "Oh no, I can't milk paint. I don't really know how to do that milk paint stuff." But you know that. So as a business, I found that it was great that I gained a lot of knowledge, and then I can offer people more finishes, more techniques, more looks than I could before I went to it.
Yeah. Or from the other point of view is if it's a product that you don't like and someone asks you to use it, you've got enough knowledge to be able to say, I don't want to use that product for this reason, because you've actually tried and tested it. So it's just getting that knowledge together, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think if you don't try it, it's not necessarily, you know, so that you can win a quiz because you know the answers. But the thing of it is, if somebody comes along to you and goes, look, I really love this finish and I'd like it to look similar to this, you need to have the knowledge to go, do you know what, I'm not going to be able to do that with mineral paint. That's going to need a couple of layers of milk paint and blah, blah, blah. You know, you need to have that experience with the products to be able to produce any sort of finish that, you know, is available.
Yeah.
So although I don't agree with that, I've never termed myself as a furniture artist. I don't like that idea for me, because I can see that other people are.
Why do you not like it for you? I don't understand that.
I just don't feel comfortable with that term for me. I just don't feel like a furniture artist. That's not what it's about for me. It's a technical situation for me.
All right, okay.
Yeah, so for me, like, yes, I can do all of those things, but only because I'm like, can I do that? When do you get that done? And so that was what it was about for me. It was never about, I couldn't draw stick man to save my life. And although I suppose I'm creative, it's not.
So it's the word artist that you don't like.
I'm really uncomfortable with that. For me, like, my daughter is a complete artist.
Oh, she's amazing. She's amazing. I love her work.
Yeah, I'm a technician. This is, for me, is about, I need to know how it works. Why does it work? Why does it do that? How does it do that? That's what it's about for me. It's not about art.
And it's important to know all those things, isn't it? To give someone, you know, to be a professional at what you do, you need knowledge. And you can't have that, you know, you've got to get that knowledge from somewhere, so that when someone comes to you with a project, you can recommend or, you know, produce for them the what they want to the best quality as well. Otherwise, you know, how are you going to guarantee your work if they say, I want this done, but I want it done in chalk paint, and you say, well, it's not suitable for that, or whatever it might be. You know, you've got to be able to guarantee your work because you're using the right products for the right projects.
Yeah. Absolutely, because you want it to last a long time, because it's not cheap. We're not a cheap alternative because of the amount of hours that we put into things. Well, I might put too many hours, too many layers, too many colours. Now one better. Sure, that's all right.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, well, that won't take me long to do that. Famous.
No, don't touch wood. Don't say that. That's don't ever say that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, listen, this has been great, and I hope that anyone watching this that wondered what the PBA, what the Painters Business Academy was all about, if it would be worth their while going from a business point of view, if it would be worth their while going even just for a networking point of view to make friends, I would say it's worth going just to meet Kate and Sarah.
Oh,
you are sweet.
Just to meet them.
And I've kept your costume from last year. It might have to make a second outing.
And I think I just left. I thought I'll just leave this behind.
I kept it.
I thought one of the nuns would have took it. The nuns loved it.
They might have done if they had the chance.
Does everybody know that you trotted in on a fake?
No. You know, nobody watching this will have a clue what we're talking about.
Of course, with a cowboy hat and music blared. She come in riding a horse. We were all like, what is this?
And it was a really good idea late at night with some gin in me. I was like, I know what I'll do, because I was so nervous. So I thought, I know what I'll do to combat the nerves. And I don't know why I thought that, because then it was more, I couldn't get out of the thing. And
get in it and get it blown up. I was in the toilets trying to help you get it blown up.
I know there was a blockage, and my hose had a blockage in the toilets.
Oh my god! So what are you going to do this year to top that, though? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, what
just going to be there, quiet at the back of the room, maybe.
Okay. We'll see about that.
Yeah, all right. Well, listen, I'll let you go. I've kept you long enough, and thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
And just for anyone who missed the start of it, it's Kate Holt from Colour Me KT, and the K stands for Kate, and the T stands for the lovely Tony. So Colour Me KT, and then we have Sarah Pelly, and Sarah is in Plymouth, not Portsmouth, and Sarah is from Home Revival, and Sarah is a wealth of knowledge milk paint. Go and check out her videos from milk paint, and oh, she's amazing, absolutely amazing. And her wonderful daughter Stevie, who's somewhere there, check out her page too, because she's an amazing artist. Slide that in.
She was there last year. Kate's daughter and my daughter were helping with the event, and so they'll be, hopefully Emma will be back, but Stevie will be there again this year. So
yeah, and such nice girls.
Oh,
Real credit to you, absolute credit to you. Both of you should be so proud of them. I mean, they were just wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, ladies.
thank you so much. Thank you.